Welcome back to the Ellis diary. Currently on my third night from the session, so it's my last night. I'm in Barnet's Point. And, yeah, it's a nice bit of water here, but what's happening tonight? It's a bit like London, to be fair. There's been well, 4 people been stabbed in Reading. 3 of them are dead. 2 people done it. One of them's been caught. The other one's on the run, and he was last seen 2 miles away from Burfield, and he's still on the run. There's police helicopters up in the air, police sirens, and I think it's a terrorist attack. So it's one of them, innit? Burfield, the ultimate challenge. If you can't catch the common, you've got to fight off the terrorists and all. You know what I mean? Yeah, welcome to the Ellis diary. A proper one.
Oh shit, it's another sign, my brother. I can hear pain, I can hear suffer. Channeling rain, this one's gutter. More insane than a native borough. They can make claims that we make fun of, then make more crowd. I ain't even gotta do a war dub. Just spit next to another little poor mug. When I'm warmed up, what's waiting before us? Fuck knows, so I gotta be sharp, it's cutthroat. Keep stacking up Hunzo bars and unload when I get a chance. Snuff, I'm like Monroe. I'm just letting everyone know there ain't nothing you can do till the one roll. Like a whore with a shooter on gun hole. I shone in a place that the sun don't. No one ever gave me shit, so I don't feel like giving. No one ever gave me a life, but now I feel like living.
No one ever gave me a blind, but that's alright, we're winning. Me and Des put the bar in the sky, with the bars we're bringing.
Side B,
I got a warrant to be somebody you will never be. Fuck my enemies, I'll stay 3 steps ahead of these. I'm right where I wanna be, you want honesty. Honestly, can't see no one touching me. It's ending horribly, blatant harm. My body needs commodities and our party wanna be. So follow me, I'm an oddity rolling with no policy. You're thinking you're cold, but the hole inside of you knows. When you try and get involved with the soldiers that vocal, we explode and expose. Your dead flows, you best know. Human foes will implode. Cold like stepping in snow with bare toes.
no one ever gave me shit, so I don't feel like giving. No one ever gave me a life, but now I feel like living.
No one ever gave me a blind, but that's alright, we're winning. Me and Des put the bar in the sky, with the bars we're bringing.
Say the real, I've got a remedy when I put a dog down.
Welcome back to the Ellis diary, part 20. So that's my 20th anniversary, and what a diary this is going to be. It's not going to be as active as the others. It's going to be more talking, and there's a good reason for that, but we'll get on to that. What I would like to point out first, there might be a few swear words, not necessarily from me, but from other people. So if you're a minor, get your parents to watch this first, because it's not very ideal for young ears. So I'm covering myself with that one. And if you're under 16, get your parents first to watch this, because I don't want to be the root of another outbreak of hate from a video on YouTube. So yeah, parental advisory on this one. Also, if you haven't watched my last video, Burfield Torture, that is the story, right, leading up to this final Ellis diary on Burfield. So refresh your brains on that one, go back and watch it before you watch this. If you've just recently watched it, then it should all be in your head. But if none of that's in your head at the minute, this won't be as good. So go back and watch that, and then get back to this one. But following on from that, I am alive and kicking, and basically that terrorist attack was over exaggerated. It was a terrorist attack, but there was only one person who stabbed a few people, not 2. There wasn't someone on the loose, and that was the rumours going about at the time. But yeah, scary night, not gonna lie. I was on Barnet's Point, and all you could hear was police sirens, helicopters above me till 2, 3 in the morning, and it was like, he's definitely on the loose. But there was actually, the helicopters were floating above the geezer's house, the actual terrorist, like his block of flats. So it wasn't far from Burfield at all, and it weren't a very good night, but it's all over now. He's been arrested and good. But we're gonna go back in time. Obviously I'm filming now after it's all happened, so I've got some footage of build-ups and that, but not much, because what I was doing is can't say yet, but I will say, obviously, this is going to be the whole truth, nothing but the truth, but the Burfield reality of how it is these days. I actually watched Terry Earn's video last night again, and I watched it and thought, oh my god, I'm going to look like such an idiot, because the way Burfield is now is nothing like it was back then. He was going about baiting spots in the edge and stuff, and getting to check proper angling, but none of that exists anymore on Burfield, and every Burfield angler can vouch for me on that. The days of baiting an edge spot and then going back and checking it and seeing fish feeding there or seeing they've fed there, it's pretty like, it's old news. And a lot of Burfield, it is old news now. Even my capture of the common, which you'll see later on in this video, that's old news. Like every single Burfield capture, they're all out of date. Everything's changed since. So even my one, it's all changed since, and it's 4 weeks ago. So you can't, back in the day there was a little routine, like Terry Earn said, Weedy Bay, dogleg area, and the amount of comments on my videos on my previous Burfield ones was, yeah, get down the dogleg this spring, and it's like, for the amount of time I've been on Burfield, I've never ever seen a carp as far down as the dogleg. It's only this year, when I got down to spawn near the dogleg, but not right round in the dogleg, that I'd seen a carp, and I'd only seen 2. Alright, so those days are long gone. We've got crayfish in there now, and we've got otters. Yeah, so I think the carp, they're running scared. They prefer to be a bit out of the way of the edges, especially on that river bank where Terry caught it. That's where they get in, from the River Kennet into Burfield that way. So any edge spots down that neck of the woods, pretty void, mate. So this video is 2020, and this is Burfield now, the reality. So we're going to go back. I had a session where I had a few, and we're going to go back there, and you're going to see what I've done, and then we're going to get down to business, because there's a big story to tell on this one, and there's a meaning behind it all. I wasn't going to expose the meaning, but I've had no choice to now but to do that, and you'll see why. But yeah, this is what happened just after my last video. Obviously you'd seen that it was a real struggle. I released the video, I was going to catch one more carp, but I thought, when's my next carp going to be? It was that hard. I hadn't seen a carp for 5-6 weeks anywhere on the pit, but we're going to go back there now. Check this out. Right, it's been a really hard season now since it opened from spawning. It's just been a nightmare. There's been 2 fish caught, well, 2 people have caught, and it's the same fish, so it goes to show they're not really having it. And this is the 5th week now with no action, but I've been baiting a spot the last couple of weeks, dropped on it last night, and it's not the best looking carp in the pit, far from it, but it's a character. £25, proper CMO, but yeah, couldn't be happier. Hopefully we'll have a little run of good luck there, but I'm well pleased with this. And to be fair, the way it's going, this could be my only Burfield carp all summer. So it's really tough, but yeah, mega pleased. We'll put her back, hopefully get another one. Maybe. Well, that's my luck. If those of you that are watching this know Burfield, you'll know that if you catch the classic carp, you're a stone's throw from the common. And if you don't know what the classic carp looks like, it looks a bit like this. The lighting's proper shit, to be fair, for photos. The photos ain't great, but I wanted to get the rod back out, and hopefully the next bite is the Burfield common, because this is as close as you'll get. It swims with it, it's his best mate. This is the classic carp. Come on, get in there. Buzzing with this. One I really wanted, and I've got it. Thank you, Burfield. You've been good to me. Let's put her back then. Right, as soon as I put that fish back, the classic, we've all been thinking, the big and bait spawned yet, that's why they're not feeding. They ain't been doing no bites, it's done the same fish, one fish in the last 5 weeks. So we're all thinking they ain't spawned out, but the classic, that was 33 for. It's normally like 35, 36. And I put that back, and I thought the common's next, rattled off, psss, proper strip line off me. And it wasn't a common, but it's a fish called spike. It's a fish that I had, it's a repeat capture for me, my first fish I caught back in May last year from the bomb, 42 pound, and now it's looking a bit like a banana, 35.5 pound. So yeah, they have spawned out. I don't know why they ain't been mooching about and going around the pit and feeding, but here you go, 35.8. My old mate Spike. This come out of the murders when I had that common, come out the same day, geezer before me, 42 pound, so well spawned out. Yeah, what a session, 3 fish now. I'm onto something, man. The Burfield common's coming. Thanks Spike, the old mucker. Also known as the Burfield bike, this one. Didn't know that when I first caught it, but yeah, it's got a bit of a nickname. Comes out like where it used to, not so much now. But twice in a day apparently, once. My old mate Gareth caught it, and then 9 hours later caught it on a different spot. Weird one, but yeah, put her back, fight another day, make someone else happy, eh? Well, nothing else occurred this morning. I've really am going to go to the shop now, put some bait out. It's looking good. Just found out as well the classic carp was stocked in 1954, so make sure no one hears me. But yeah, the oldest carp in here I think. But yes, buzzing. I've had a few messages on Instagram and that, and people walking about. There's a full moon coming. It's Sunday is coming, but it was proper bright last night, and they're all like, oh, the common's going to come out. It's going to do a bite, because bearing in mind this lake's done 1 fish in the last 5 weeks, and it's been caught twice, so we're waiting for it. I don't know what I've caught. 3 in the night. But like one geezer messaged me, like, don't fish here, but he went, the common's going to come out in the next couple of nights, make sure you're down there. And I thought, I've had the classic. Common's going to be there. And I went to see Nigel Sharp earlier over the road, had a coffee and that, and it's pretty obvious that if you catch the classic carp, I think happened to Dave Lane as well, it happened to Sharpie, if you catch the classic, you catch the common the day after. So I can't describe how I feel right now. Obviously I could hook it quite easily, like it's on, it's definitely on, like this is the closest I've ever been to the common. But it's just landing it. Obviously in there like it's gonna go some, so risky. But yeah, we're up shop. George Benos, old Benos, the sheep from the last video, he's invited me to a Benos barbecue where we've got some Greek sausage, chicken and that, so I'm gonna go around there for a bit. I'm not in no rush, I'm gonna rest the swim. It's obviously like night bites early morning, so I'm gonna go around there, have a barbecue. I'll film a little bit of the Benos barbecue, and then we'll get back to me swim.
Here he is.
Alright, I am. Where's the barbecue?
I see men that are bitches. I should leave them with stitches. I'm like leaving the fishes. Megalodon. I'm a great white shark too big for the pond. Stone sticks.
Nice burger, Joe. Cheers, mate.
I can't hack it. You know maggots. Roll on.
Waiting for the old Greek sausage, mate. I've only been here a year, not had one yet. Matt, it's Benos' Greek sausage.
What?
Shufta. Shufty? Shufty or Shufta, Benno?
Fuck off.
That's a fuck off, there you go. Big fuck off sausage. Here we are, rods are back out for the night. Not expecting much until the darkness falls or the early hours. But my first fish, that 25 pounder, was about, it must be about 3 o'clock this morning. Still dark. I got up at 4, I retained it, got up at 4 to photograph it. Got another bite at 6 from the classic. Another one at 6:30. Spike, my old mate. But yeah, it kicked off. But now I'm using 2 rods now. Traction Pro, 10 foot, 3.5 pound. First time I used them, so I've christened them in nicely. But the main thing, I had the smaller one, the 25 pound on the right hand rod, but the left hand rod got a little lucky charm. Bailey charms. Basically Bailey is my new dog, my girlfriend's dog. And yeah, took her for a walk the other day.
I put the lead on her, but I didn't clip it on the actual proper ring for the lead. I clipped it on that key ring. So obviously she's run off to another dog and it snapped off like that. So my bird went, ah, you're a dickhead, you can keep that. So I've stuck it on my rods as a lucky mascot, and it's paid off. So one thing she did point out as well is Bailey Chops is also initials BC. Tonight's the night, boys and girls. I'm telling you, everyone keeps saying it. If it's coming out, it's coming out tonight. And to have caught his best friend, who it swims around with and gets braced with the following day and stuff, then yeah, I'm in pole position. If I hook one and lose it, it's one of them, and I'm going to put it down as that. I hope it ain't, but I need to hook one and land it. So I'll probably catch up with you in the morning with a fish in my hands. Pray for the common. It could all be over on my second year. Imagine that. See you soon. Not the common. Like I said, we'll be back with a fish. And yeah, it's not the common, but it's a mirror. It's been out with a common before, been braced with it. And it's been £58 in the past. At the minute, spawned out £42. But it's a mega fish, really long. And they call this one the hickey fish. This is like 18 up there with one of the rare ones. It went about 10 years without getting caught, then it pops up at a huge weight last year, so it's rare. Thank you, hickey. Bring me the common. What a carp and what a session. Obviously self takes and all that, I don't want people knowing. So I'm on the common here, 100%. So all these good fish I'm having, it's just self takes, so I don't blow my cover. Well, that's Burfield for you. Put her back then. Hickory dickory dock. Just on the way back to my motor. A few of the boys, it's July the 4th, so the pubs are opening up, the Cunning Man. They're on my case. Come on, put your gear in your van, come see us. So I don't think I am, because I want to fish like that, obviously, but I've just seen Dan Rigby, or should I say one of the bailiffs, post a picture on Instagram, and it's to do with my van, and it ain't good, but I don't even need to burn him with this. As soon as you watch this video, that's a serious burn, you know what I mean? Classic carp, hickey fish. Might get a common still, you never know, but even them two. You've just been buried, Daniel, son. Watch this. Nice sell that. The wagon. Wait until you see this. I've seen a picture. Dear oh dear, Daniel. If only you knew what I've had the last couple of nights. But you do now, don't you? And I ain't shooting up no one. But I reckon we're gonna have to go do something for you this video, mate. That comes off easy. Dickhead, mate. This is going somewhere. I can tell you now, these Burfield boys need to learn not to war with me, mate. Anyone, because I always get the last laugh. Something will happen, and I'll always have the last laugh. Always do, always will. So tonight's the night, maybe. The ultimate laugh. Job done out of here. Ta-da. Could happen, man. I've already had the last laugh already before it even started. Well, we're going to do something, Dan. Over the course of this video, just need to plot something, but I don't know what. Thank good. So we'll stitch him up proper. We'll make him famous. Poor old Benos got it last video. Now I'm going to do Dan Rigby, one of the bailiffs. We love bailiffs, don't we? Not. Just been to see my old mate Si Fisher. He knows what I've caught. He can be trusted, and I said what I had, like the hickey, and it weren't. It's similar, same sort of shape. Obviously, it was £58 last spring, and to be £42, mega spawned out, it's not really that possible, is it? So I got it a bit wrong, but at the time I thought it was a hickey fish, and it ain't. So it just goes to show you Burfield boys that the only fish you'll ever know I've caught, when I've actually caught it, will be the common. Because if I'm self-taking the hickey, which is like next in line after the classic obviously, then you know that I can self-take whatever I want. You'll never know until it hits YouTube and burns the lot of you. Especially you, Dan. They're all like the Cunning Man pub at the minute. Obviously it's just opened. They're all like, come down, but man's got business he's got to do, you know what I mean? While you're all up the pub and then over to the bomb for Benos's barbecue tonight, I'll be dangling and hopefully finishing up my time on Burfield. But yeah, I'm gonna go back, get my rods out earlier than last night. Hopefully we'll get amongst a couple, but what a session. It's gone from proper brutality, blanking for like the last 5 weekends, not knowing where they are, and then dropping on some fish after a little bit of bait and catching. So mega pleased. My last night tonight. If I have another one I could stay. I have Monday off work, so I ain't got much work, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully the common comes and it's job done, isn't it? But we'll see. Picking up a bit more bait. Little kilo bags to sell. I only bought 5 kilo with me this weekend, and in kilo bags, so I didn't have to use it all, because I normally bring 10k bait to spot or whatever where I've been fishing, but there's been no point baiting. It's been a waste. So next weekend I'll bring some more. Get cracking. Burfield, the ultimate challenge. Best carp in the land. Let's be having ya. Right, it's me all packed up. Quiet night last night. Nothing this morning. Didn't see anything. We've obviously moved off, so full moon tonight. Having a classic carp, the common's due, but if I stayed another night and they didn't turn up because I've got lines in the water, it's probably going to ruin it. So I've decided I'm going to go home. Like, I could have blew work out, but I've got work, so the joys of being a worker and a part-time carp angler has thrown a spanner in the works a bit. So I've got to get this job done, but I should be able to get back down Thursday, I reckon. Maybe Wednesday if I really work hard. So decided to bait it, put a few kilos of sell out, some mixed tigers from mainline, and it's in the zone. This swim, right, 30s, the shallows, bailiffs and that, it's all been overlooked in this weather. No one's been down here. They've walked straight past and that. I can't see no fish, but I've caught, obviously, so they're here. You just can't see them. The water clarity is still really bad, and the weather's not ideal for the shallow water, but they're getting in here and nobody knows. Everyone's walking around the pit like headless chickens. They got a clue where they are. And I've had to keep quiet. Like, a couple of people know, close mates that can be trusted, not like the bailiffs and that, Dan Rigby and stuff. Like, he can't be trusted, so don't tell him nothing, you know what I mean? He was on my case last night, come up the pub, come around the bomb, barbecue and that, so they don't know I've caught, right? So I've had to block Benos, I've blocked Dan Rigby because they're ringing me constant, because I'm obviously on fish and that, but they don't know. So I'm going to unblock them now when I get in the van, and then watch all the missed calls fly in. Job done, mate. Back to Essex, I'll be back soon, but yeah, it's good, isn't it? They'll be back. They ain't here now though, definitely gone, but hopefully a bit of bait and that, no lines if no one jumps in here. If it don't warm up and that this week, no one's going to bother jumping in here, so they should turn up, eat a bit of food, get confident again. We'll get back, cut the rods on them, and hopefully nick the common. That's the plan. So yeah, see you next time around. Probably, I'm aiming for Wednesday night, but it's going to be more like Thursday morning, so we'll catch up with them. Ta-da. One last thing before we leave. Old Rigger's stuck that warning sheep on my van, packed my van yesterday, so we're going to go and stick it on his motor before we leave for Essex. There we go. This is the old Rigger's Punto. Empty case of Stella down there, standard.
Beautiful. Hey, riggers. Ma. So that, Dan? Is that up? 3 fish on the Thursday night. I got down Thursday, had them 3 fish, the classic, the 25 pounder, the classic carp, which was the game changer for me, and spike. Right, I photographed spike again, recapture, because that told a story. That did, because that was my first carp, like I said, out the bomb. And then the next time I caught it, I felt this close to the common. I thought that was a Burfield common. Like, it was game over as soon as I got that bite, I thought, but it wasn't. And then the following day, I caught what I thought was a hickey fish, stupidly. I was that buzzing and that, I got it well wrong, but as soon as I looked at the picture of the hickey fish, as soon as I looked at it, the side that I was always seeing was the opposite side to what I was looking at on my actual fish. Similar scale pattern. I won't show you a picture of the hickey, I might have a story to tell, like, but it's pretty similar. Long, like flopping down, wrist of his tail, and I thought this is it, but it weren't. And yeah, but I could have edited all that out, you know what I mean, make myself look a bit better and that, but I got it wrong and I got paid off in the end. I thought I was going to catch the hickey, to be fair, because that sort of stuff normally happens. If you look at my last video, when I mistook a 43 pounder for a 46, and I went on to catch that 46 that I thought the 43 was. So I thought, nah, that's it, now I've done that, I'm catching the hickey. But I reckon I could have as well, but we'll get to that. But yeah, obviously I was fishing the 30 swim. As you can see, I got my rods out earlier that night, remember? It was 6 o'clock, I got my rods out, and there's a reason for that, and that reason was everybody was up the Cunningman pub. It was a 4th of July, I'd had the classic and the 2 others. Yeah, the pubs opened after coronavirus and everyone went up the pub, and I was one of the main instigators for that. Let's get up the boozer, like, let's celebrate, because I wasn't catching like the week before that, you know what I mean? I was walking about like a headless chicken. Although I filmed it in the 30 swim, I wasn't actually in the 30 swim. I was fishing off an island, right, on the Sly. Yeah, I didn't have special permission. I wasn't the only person that had to do it. This particular island is, it's not out of bounds, it's not breaking rules to get there, right? I didn't get a boat out there to fish off of it. I walked across, it's about knee-high deep. You can do it in shorts and a pair of Crocs, or you can do it in waders. So I started fishing off this island, because if you look at my last video, we'll go back to that in a minute, I heard a fish show, and that's the only fish I heard show at all for like 5 or 6 weeks. Right, there weren't no fish getting seen around the pit, nothing showing, and I was on the end of Hodder's Point and I heard it show. Wow, it's a struggle. I'm going to walk about today. I did hear one, there's an island to my left, and it boshed out behind that, somewhere in that sort of zone. Sounded like a good carp. That's when I went round to the block swim and I was looking to the gap in the islands, yeah, casting up to get near it. In the end, a couple of weeks later, I went out there to have a look, and I thought, I'm going to give that a bash. Obviously, like, breaking no rules doing it, because I waded out, I didn't get a boat. You can stalk areas of the lake which ain't in designated swims, right? Yeah, fish from designated swims, but what's to say you can't see a fish in the edge somewhere, if they was getting in the edge these days, and sticking a rod in a poke hole? What's the difference? You know what I mean? I didn't get a boat out, etc. But I purposely made it clear to everyone what I was going to do. I even spoke to one of my mates, Dan Rigby, he's a bailiff, and his advice to me, as well as another angler, one of our mates that night, we had a social, and his advice was, don't get caught. Right, you're not breaking no rules, don't get caught. If I got caught and it wasn't Dan, then it's out of his hands, right? It's a different matter, innit? But I've done it in such a way that I wouldn't get caught, and this is where the story gets exciting, because what I've done there was proper undercover, under the radar angling, which, to be fair, was a masterclass. Nobody was catching, only me, but I purposely went out my way to tell all the locals who were fishing at the weekends the same time as me, down that end of the pit. I went out my way to make it clear to them what I was doing. So they all knew I was out in the island, so that covered my arse a bit. So I was out there doing my thing. If I was to get caught and it wasn't one of them boys, they'd let me know who it was about and stuff like that, because it was a bit naughty, not gonna lie, but if you're fishing Burfield and you ain't pushing boundaries and doing things different, you might as well not be fishing Burfield. If you're on there for that one Burfield common, that one carp, it ain't like it used to be 10 years ago. Right, you've got to do something outside the box, and the amount of angling pressure, you probably ain't ever going to catch that carp from a swim, going swim, on a GAN spot where you're catching carp from. You know what I mean? I've studied that fish. Even when I was catching the classic and that, I was going over to a lake nearby where Nigel Sharp was, relaying it all to him, and he was telling me stuff that still actually happens on Burfield today. Right? A lot of the simmos and that, when he was on there, they was small 20s, pests getting in the way. But then the common, the classic carp, and all the other originals that are still there, they're still doing the same stuff. Burfield's changed, right? Because the simmos have wised up. Yeah. The originals still do the same stuff, minus getting right down in the dogleg for obvious reasons. But Alsatian Bay, take that for example. The common gets in Alsatian Bay every spring. Yeah, it's done it for years. It will still do it for years, right? It's his routine, and that common's still got his routine down the other end, right? And Nigel Sharp really helped me out, basically. Like, he was telling me things, and I was learning so much just from talking to him. And I got Burfield sussed, mate. As soon as I caught that classic carp, I see him the night before, and I went round, I told him what I was doing, fishing off this island, and it used to be a swim. He said, oh, the bailiffs used to fish that. Like, it used to be a swim, there's scaffold poles going out to the swim. It was never out of bounds, it was never their home, sanctuary, their safe haven, right? We'll get to this later. And it was never none of that, right? It was used to be a swim, but it ain't a swim no more. So it's out of access. There's not a single area of Burfield that is out of bounds. There's one area that's out of bounds, about 30 acres, yeah? But it's not out of bounds for their sanctuary, for their haven. It's out of bounds because there's a separate ticket on there. There's a geezer that lives on Burfield, he's bought that bit of land and he gives tickets out to a couple of anglers, yeah? So it's not out of bounds, it's out of access, yeah? There's not an area that's out of bounds. There's a lot of areas in our water that's out of access, and to be honest, you've got a big pair of fucking bollocks to go and do something like that to be different, and that's what I've done. But there's the whole meaning behind this, the whole reason behind it was purely out of spite, yeah? My last video, Burfield Torture, I said I was going to have the common, like, look at that. It's going to be a good year, and dare I say it, this year's my year. I just know it. I'm confident. The Burfield common last year was impossible. This year, nothing's impossible. This year's my year, yeah? You heard it on the last video, it's all there to see, right? This year's my year, I'm having it. And I'm having it for one reason. I was going back with revenge. It was karma for me. 2020 was karma. Hashtag BC 2020. It was my karma year. I've done well over the winter, come back after lockdown and caught one, then it shut again. But I've obviously caught them two before lockdown and it shut 3 days later. And what really wound me up and gave me this boost to really go back and cause some damage and get shit done was I lost out my whole spring and all my mates never. Basically, people were fishing in lockdown and I wasn't invited. All I got was on the WhatsApp group, if anyone's caught walking around Burfield, you'll lose your ticket. Whilst all my mates were fishing it and I didn't know what was going on, I didn't want to get involved. I've got a mate, John Bartley, I spoke to him regular during lockdown and he was updating me with info and that, and it was just getting on my tits, like it was torture, hence the name Burfield Torture, right? And I was like, no, like, I can't say nothing. I said to him, I went, don't say nothing, you're going to make it worse, keep your mouth shut, let your fish do talking, and one of us will catch the common, and that's karma, innit? Payback. But if you open your mouth, you're going to get banned, and it's not my story to tell, but it's his. But he opened his mouth, he got banned. So I just played it cool. Intro to the last video, play it cool, alright? It's all there in the last video. No one gets it yet, and you soon will. But basically, yeah, I played it cool, come back, didn't make a scene, kept friendly with everyone to make my life sweet. But deep down, I was on a warpath, and that warpath weren't actually for that island, right? It was more, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to be getting the dinghy out in the big murders between the two islands, because when they ban the bait boats, all that out long, 180 is 200 yards there, is out of bounds, or should I say out of access, and it's got a big pair of bollocks, alright? There's no out of bounds. I've got no problem or issues with people fishing in lockdown. I done it, I had permission from the police, from the landowners, same as Burfield. I'm not going to say no names, I'm not into all that. It's just, it wasn't a personal attack to everyone that fished in lockdown, it was more the fact that the feeling I felt in lockdown was the torture, hence the name Burfield Torture. And if I hadn't have caught them 240s and lost one 3 days before it shut down, I wouldn't have felt like this. But why have I got to lose my whole spring? And some people, normal members, haven't. So I thought, I'm going back this summer and I'm going to get my spring back. And that's exactly what I've done. So what unfolded next was, yeah, what could we say? Genius of me. Obviously in that video, the last one on Hodder's Point, I had that fish show behind the island. That's when I went to investigate. Went out there and I thought, I didn't see no carp, didn't see no signs of carp, but I thought, wow, I could fish this. And I know that island swim's been fished for years, right? But it was a couple of hours in the mornings, quick night here or there, right? Not to the extreme measures that had to be done in order to do well. And I went to the next level on that island. Basically, you've got Bailey's Point swim, which is, it's a shit swim to be fair. Like, I've seen one carp in there my whole time on Burfield, but the other side, if you wade across, and you'll see on the map, right, you've got Bailey's Point, then you can see the gravel bar on Google Earth that you can walk across to get on the island. When you get to the other side of that island, where that blue dot is, that's what it's called. It's known as the secret channel, yeah? You can get to the far end of that, like the entrance of it, so to speak, from Speedboat Point, and people dinghy across and drop their rigs when the bait boats are banned. That's their edge, yeah? That's why they'll catch, because they're getting right under the bushes and stuff where you can't cast, yeah? So that fish is there. Obviously, there's so much to say, but we'll get back to that later. But that's fishing in the entrance. I'm fishing down the other end of it, yeah? What's the difference like? I'm just fishing probably safer. The speedboats ain't coming through my swim, cutting me off if I don't get up early enough and stuff like that. So I'm fishing it and I'm having them, yeah? And I had them 4 fish and the classic, and that's when things really changed for me. And I've done it all properly, right? I had a decoy set up. Bailey's Point swim wasn't called Bailey's Point to me, it was called the decoy swim, yeah? Because the genius that I am, right? I put a rod on the buzzer, reeled in, so it looks like I'm there, and I'd have my bed chair, my brolly up, and a barra in the swim, all day, all night, for the whole weekend. And all day I'd sit there, right, talking and that, people come through, have a few beers. Then overnight, I'd wade across to my island, and I've already got a bed chair, like the Avid Benchmark Light, with like this waterproof throw over on a storm pole. That's my bivvy. Yeah. Then I've got 2 10-foot Traction Pro rods and little 80,000 reels on buzzers, right, ready to be cast at, 2 nets, you know, feeling lucky, unhooking mat and stuff, all the essential gear that I needed, self-take equipment, a lot, all the essential gear I needed for a quick night, yeah. So I'd do the nights, yeah, nothing all night. Following morning, from about 4 in the morning really, I'd get a bite. Sometimes I catch 2 or 3, yeah. Well, the first session I caught 3 in the morning, and like, I'd reel in about 8:30, 9 latest, wade back to my swim, Bailey's Point, the decoy swim, and sit there all day. Everyone's like, where's your gear? I'm like, oh, I've seen my van, I've been walking about all day, I think I'm going to move and stuff, yeah, throwing them off the scent. All along my gear was out there, I was catching carp, but the days were dead. I wasted so much time just walking about the pier, sitting in bailiffs doing nothing, waiting for the nights, yeah. But it's time wasted, but time well spent, because I was the only person catching. Nobody knew. I ended up telling a few people, but what I will say is I tried to do this the week before, and I got all my gear on bailiffs, and when we had that social, me, Dan and Gareth, his name is, basically Dan was like, do what you want, like, don't get caught, you ain't actually breaking rules on paper, you know what I mean, like, there was no harm in it. So Gareth got that advice, I got that advice. The following day, Dan went up Liverpool and I went from the shallows, Dan's Island, Riggers Island swim, from the shallows up 2 swims away to Bladif to do it, right? So I've done it, set up. Gareth's come round for a can of Stella. I'm like, I'm going to go out there tonight. He went, yeah, I don't blame you. If I didn't have my dog, like, I'd be doing stuff like that. And that was his honest words. And he actually kept a look out for me. I went, oh, keep a look out for me while I get my gear over to the island. So I went over to the island, got all my gear out there, double checked the block swim and speedboat point to make sure no one was there previously in the day, like earlier on in the day. And I've gone out there, he's gone back to his swim, I've gone out on the island to cast out, just as it's getting dark. I've looked round through the bushes and the block swim, which is behind the blue pool, where I moved to on my video at that time, you can see the gaps in the island. And to cast out off the end of this island I'm fishing, you have to wade out. You can't physically cast to the spots I was fishing from the bank, so you have to wade out. And like, it's so tight, you've got trees behind you, so your rod, right, is straight, and you literally, straight rod, flick, like that. It's hard, but as you're doing that and you're waded out, to do that, you're in full view, yeah, in waders with a rod from the block swim. And if you don't know anyone that's in that swim, it don't really get fished much, but sometimes it does. If you don't know the person in there, you can't do it. So that night, got all my kit back off the island, into Bailey's Point, just flicked 2 singles out. Gareth texted me, like, I text Gareth and went, oh, I can't do it, like, someone's in the blocks. He went, oh, that's shit, like. And then, yeah, that was it. The following week, I come back on the Thursday, like you just saw, and I'd done it, and I caught 4. And my mate, Cy Fisher, top lad, one of my best mates on Burfield, and he was in the blocks that weekend, so I've told him what I'd caught. I told him what I was doing because he can see me, and even if I've done it all secretly there, I probably scoped the area out. I went and stood in the blocks and I looked at, there's a dead snag you can see straight in front of you through the gap in the islands, and that looks prime to fish, but I couldn't fish there because I was catapulting my boilies and tiger nuts out, and when you do, the seagulls are swirling about, so I couldn't fish that spot. Even casting, if you was in the blocks, you'd see it land. So I had to do everything that you couldn't see from the block. So I'm fishing one to the right and I'm fishing one to the left behind the island, yeah, just so you can't see me land when I'm casting or baiting up from the block swim, so I can do it all. The only thing that you will see is me playing a fish, and if there's someone in there that you don't know, you can't physically go out there and do it, because it wasn't illegal. I later found that out. It was illegal to me, it weren't legal to a few, but I took the piss and got involved. Like, Burfield was a level playing field for me the first year. After lockdown and finding out my lot were fishing and I weren't, that's when it become an unlevel, like, playing field. Burfield was not a level playing field for me from that point on. So I got my sweet revenge and made it a level playing field in return for what I've just had done to me. So yeah, Cy Fish knew everything. Ben Hamilton, he was on the speedboat point, he was doing his stuff on there and that, and he knew everything. Steve Alcott, he knew everything, I was updating him, and Nigel Sharp. So there was 4 of us that knew what I'd caught that weekend. Like, keep it under wraps, I've had a classic, you know what I'm on for. Everyone's, yeah, good angling. Everyone was for it, good angling, well done. Obviously, it's changed a bit now, but at the time, good angling. And I purposely made all my mates down that end of the pit, I made sure they knew what I was doing and what I was catching out of respect, because they're doing their stuff down there, and no one knew they'd spawned. Everyone was like, oh, they ain't spawned this year, where are they, what's going on, I hope they're alright. And I caught spike at 35.5 and it was normally a 40, and I was like, they've spawned. Well, I can tell you now, I've had a few, they've spawned, they're safe, I know where they are, they're just not getting around the pit. But I thought, me doing this, they're going to spook out and get around the pit. So following week I came back down and I've managed P scale, right, I repeat, I didn't weigh it, I didn't get it out of the water, but it was 37.5 pound when I caught it last year in speedboat point. I assumed it was spawned out. Yeah, Steve Alcott had it last year as well at 41.12 or something like that. It might not have been spawned, it might have, but I reckon it was. So say between 37 and 38 maybe. So I'll sit that back, and then the next bite was this one. Check this out.
Why, aye man, wait till you see this one. Scale damage on it, spawning no doubt. obviously I had a repeat this morning. P scale, never bothered weighing it, just put it back. Still suffering from a bit of a stellar head from the night before, so I thought slip that one back. Obviously repeat anyway. But now I've got a really good one. One I really wanted before I got the common, and it's this. The saddleback common. £44 8 ounce. What a little couple of weekends it's going to be, isn't it? It's Thursday morning now, got down last night, got back in my swim on my baited area, managed to now 2 this morning, so thank you saddleback, you absolute beast. Look at that. The Ellis diary, year of the commons, Burfield soon, big bad Burfield, right. Let's put you back then, saddleback. What a carp. Roll on the next one, isn't it?
The mighty saddleback. Nah, I've always said to everyone I didn't want the saddleback. I didn't want any big commons unless it was the Burfield common, because I don't want to be playing a fish, seeing it's a big common, and no lie, it was big, I knew it was big, and it was on the surface snaking, but all along I never thought that would be the Burfield common. It didn't come into my head, you know what I mean? And it wasn't, and I didn't feel that, because I always didn't want that saddleback or the patch common because they're big, and I didn't want to think it's the Burfield common, get it in the net, and it wasn't, and be gutted when I should be really buzzing because they're mega carp. 44.5 pound, that's a proper Burfield carp, you know what I mean? Like, I really did want that one before I caught the common, but I didn't want to see it going in my net and stuff, but luckily I didn't get that feeling like I thought I would, so yeah, mega pleased with that. And what I'd like to point out is that 25 and that 42 mirror, what I thought was a hickey, that was on the right hand spot against the snags on the margin, yeah, and that's deep silt, probably 10 foot, 12 foot maybe in silt, like get a nice drop but it's soft. The left hand spot, that was this is the one, mate. Basically it's the edge of that island, it comes off, shelves off nice and gradual, and it's shallow and it's crack, it's gravel, yeah. And after speaking to Nigel and stuff, I learned a lot about the Burfield common, right, and I've sort of found out pretty early on that the common, yeah, you can tell by its mouth and its big white lips, it feeds on clean ground, either clay, gravel, sand. It ain't a silt muncher, right? So my right hand spot, yeah, I'll catch carp from it, but I doubt I'll catch the common from it. It's deep, it's silty. The Burfield common loves a capture after it spawns, July, August time, yeah, and that means it's hot, so it's going to end up in shallower ground, which is our side of the pit, yeah. We've got a lot of shallow water in our side, so if I caught the classic carp off this shallow gravel spot, yeah, it's probably about 4 foot, yeah, I caught the classic carp off that, I caught the saddleback off of that. The common's never been caught off of that before, and I honestly believe the common will never ever get caught off that spot again. It won't come off any spot it's ever been caught off. It never has done and never will. I think it's been out the same swim a couple of times, and as you see on tails, it's been down the dogleg area. No, the swim he had it 3 times, but not on the same spots. Right, it will come out the same swim, but not on the same spot. And off that island, there's one spot that will do the Burfield common, and that's shallow gravel ground. Right, that swim now, it's dead. Right, you'll catch carp, and that was a game changer for me, because I've caught the classic carp off a spot where the Burfield common will get caught. And if you go back to my last video, I saw the Burfield common, it was shut for spawning, and I walked round and I saw it in the shallows, Riggers Island, yeah, right in front of me. No doubt that day that common was in there chilling in the sun, but later on that night or whatever, after it spooked, it went off towards the 30s, and just past the 30s you've got the gaps in the island that goes onto the back of the island that I was fishing, secret channel. So no doubt it was hanging about down there, nobody knew, and I've gone on there, I never saw the common at all. You know what I mean? I never once saw it. I didn't even see a carp when I first fished it. I just thought, this looks good. I've heard a carp here a couple of weeks ago from Hodders. There was definitely a fish down here, and obviously first session done well. So yeah, I'd had the obviously I've had that saddleback, and I went on to catch one which was, what can we say, a character fish. So check this one out.
Right, it's the following morning, and consistency is my middle name. I've gone and got myself another one, not quite as good as the saddleback or P-scale even, and P-scale ain't all that to be fair, but this one, I've heard of a fish in here called the banana lin, and I netted it and I was like, I've never seen a photo of the banana lin, and when you see this fish, which I think is the banana lin, it's pretty obvious by the shape of it, you realise why I've never seen a photo. But it's a Simo, it's got a lump, it's a right weird, odd one, but it deserves a place on the Ellis diary and a few photos. So we're going to show you a true British shitter. Don't laugh. You ready for this? Calm down. This is the one and only, the one, the only Burfield banana lin. So a brute of a fish, proper old wrinkly thing, battered, the underside of it's all cut up and that, it's all wrinkly, but it's a character. So it's another fish. It's my 10th carp this season. I had 9 carp last year, so this year, 2020, although I've not fished through lockdown and stuff, we've all been we've all missed our spring, haven't we? But it's a good year, and if I don't catch another carp, my year's made already with what I've caught already. But we're here for the common. Hopefully we get that. But there's always next year if not. What a result. Thank you, banana. You've made my day.
The banana lin, mental carp, but this is where the story takes a turn for the worst, right? So I've had 7 carp now off the island. A few boys that knew what I was doing. Oh, good angling, oh, good opportunity taken well, well done Greg, like mega, yeah. Following week, came back, yeah, good angling from everyone that knew, yeah. Only a few people knew about the first 4, and only a couple of them boys knew about the next 3, so it was all plain sailing, yeah. Anyway, I've come back the following week, blanked. I thought, oh, that ain't right. Well, I still baited it and stuff, and I was going back to the first session. I had kilo bags to sell, like you saw in the back of my van, and I was doing the night, catching a couple, whatever, putting a kilo of cell over both the spots. So half a kilo of cell, a couple of the main 9 tig mix, like you got the white tigers, black tigers, and normal tigers. A couple of patchfuls of them on each spot, leaving it all day. Going back for the night, flicking a handful on each spot again, and then that was doing the trick, yeah. And after I had the saddleback and all them, I took 10 kilos of cell with me, right? And I didn't use it all. I didn't fish over a lot of bait when I was in there, but I filled it in when I left. I thought, yeah, I'll keep the fish here, yeah. I don't want them going light. I'll keep them here. So I filled it in, yeah. And the following week I blanked. I thought, oh, that ain't a one then. And then that was it. So I've come back the week after that. A lot of people, they'd found out, yeah. They'd found out someone had let my cover blow, yeah. And they found out about the classic, found out about the saddleback, and rumour about the pit was, oh, he's had the classic off the island, yeah. And when you've caught the classic, any good Burfield angler will tell you, if you've caught the classic carp, the common ain't too far away. So now everyone knows where the Burfield common is or was, yeah. So that's caused a bit of uproar around the pit. Not necessarily to me, just like, oh, if he's doing it, I'm doing it. Like, people have done it for years. Just not to my extreme measures, right? You know what I mean? Decoy swim, decoy setup. Right? I've done it all properly to not get caught, and I never got caught until this next weekend. Yeah, I've gone out on the island, and I thought if I blank again, I'm going to move. I was down there for 3 nights, so I've done 2 nights on the island, nothing. But on that Saturday I walked around Alsatian Bay and I'd seen a 3 carp in the bay, and I thought if I don't catch nothing in the 2 nights on there, I'll do my last night in Alsatian Bay. Anyway, Saturday morning, I'm out on the island, got up for a piss, and then went back, laid in my bed, and I'm laying there, and I've heard, "Get off that island," yeah, lad, proper lad, and I thought, who's that trying to blow my cover? Like, for fuck's sake, mate, shut up. And then, "Oi, you heard me, get off that island," yeah, really lad. Like, this was serious. My mate Sly Fisher texted me, he's up on Hodders, and he went, "What the fuck, who's that? Have you been rumbled?" And I was like, "I don't even know, mate." I don't know, but all I knew at that point was, it's game over. I've been busted, can't go out there again. So I've got all my gear back off the island, all sheepish and that. I thought, I said to one of my mates, texted, I went, if someone's out there on Bailey's Point when I get off this island and they moan at me like a school kid, I'm just gonna fucking nut them and I'm off, mate. Like, my cover's blown. That was the closest I've been to the Burfield Common and the closest I'll ever get, right? And it's been busted, and I ain't getting shouted at like a schoolboy when people have been doing this for years. But they ain't caught the stamp of fish I've caught. They ain't done it to the extreme that I've done it to, and done well, yeah? It's all jealousy, right? So they've shouted at me, I've got off the island, gone past 30 swim, there's a geezer in there, and I've walking past with one of my bed chairs, yeah? Who borrows 2 beds around Burfield, 2 setups? You sure had to do something like that. This was illegal, basically, for me. And I'm taking me bed chair back, and the geezer went, "You not got a barrow?" I went, "Yeah, mate," and that was it, yeah? Walked back to my van, put the first bed chair in there, come back to get all my kit, and he'd gone. Like, his setup was still there, he'd gone. Anyway, I've gone round, had a few beers and that in the bomb, and I slept in my van that night, in the compound car park just next to my van, thinking, like, I was this close. Everyone knew I was this close, and now someone's ruined it, right? Whoever shouted, I thought, they've ruined it. Anyway, that Tuesday at work, got a message from someone, reliable source, saying, "That was so-and-so shouted at you." I won't name him out of respect, right, when I really should, but even that was so-and-so that shouted at you. I went, "Oh, right," and found out he'd actually gone out there on that Saturday, after I'd left, for 2 nights, yeah? And my mate went, "Don't worry, like," he blanked, yeah? So I thought, oh, did he? Right, so I've gone home that day, and the following week I thought, oh, I don't want to talk to no one, I've been busted, like, everyone knows what I've had, I don't want all that shit, like, just leave me alone. So I took my girlfriend fishing, good girl she is, and our dog Bailey. So Lewis Reed was in the Bailey's Point, he weren't on the island, he's a good lad, and he wouldn't have done that. He could have, right, he knows that, but he knew what I'd had, right? He didn't know that I knew, but I knew. And basically I've gone in the block swim for one reason, so I can see if anyone's on that island, yeah? I'm looking straight at the island, and if you cast out or you play a fish, I can see it. I know exactly what I'm looking at. And obviously if a fish showed or whatever through the gaps, I'd know if the fish were there. So I'm doing that, and I'm like, yeah, it seems pretty dead. But obviously Lewis Reed was in Bailey, so I know he wasn't. Anyway, he moved Saturday, went round to Snaggy Bay. So I've up sticks in the pissing rain with my bird and dog in tow, got round to Bailey's Point, set up for the night, and I thought, I ain't going out on the island, can't leave my girlfriend all night on Burfield, you know what I mean? It couldn't be wild for a lady, you know what I mean? She'd be scared, so this is funny. Basically, I've done the night there, set my alarm at 4 in the morning, because by the time's 4 until 8:30 normally on the island. So I've got up early, sure you don't know, left her in the body next door with the dog and that, all done up and that, so she's safe, and I've sneaked across to the island without a name. Got out on the island for morning time, bite time, and they're showing at the end of Speedboat, like the entrance to the channel, which is Speedboat Points Water, and they're showing there, right, and they're getting closer, and it got to like 7:30, and I'm like, oh, like, I've been busted, I don't want to get caught out here again. Although people were going out there, I found out there was the person that shouted going out there and someone else during the week when I wasn't there, and I thought, oh, like, I don't want my bird to wake up, I'm not there and stuff. And then I thought at 7:30, right, it started fizzing up on my spot, yeah, on my left hand spot, the Banter spot, the Burfield Common spot, and it was fizzing up, and I thought, oh, I've got to go, man, like, my bird's going to wake up and she's going to be worried. So I've got all my gear back off the island, sat there, flipped me 2 rods out in Bailey's Point, which I'd never ever done for the whole time I was fishing there. I never even put a rod out in there, and yeah, just fished and that. Anyway, I got a drop back, right? Weird one, and I had a couple of members in my swim, Roscoe and another geezer. He knows who he is, and he's the one that shouted, and if you're watching this, you know I'm talking about you, but out of respect I'm not going to name you. Roscoe obviously knows who it is now, but yeah, they're in my swim. I've got a drop back and I'm playing it in, yeah, big solid everywhere. I thought, is this a fish like weeded up? Because if it is, it's big. Anyway, got it to the bank, mate, it's the biggest humongous snag I've ever seen, full of weed in it. I beasted it out. I was like, fuck me. We've got one, you know what I mean? Threw it on the bank like that, and then that was it. And then Ross started mentioning my 10-foot rods. Yeah, I always fish with 12-foot rods. Roscoe's mentioned me to 10-footers, and we got them for. And he knew what I was doing. Right? Everyone knows, but we didn't say anything. And I went, yeah, 10-foot rods down this end, isn't it? It's like, it's all intimate. Burfield's the biggest pit ever, but it's the most intimate pit ever. You could be, it's 96 acres, and you could be in a tiny little bay. You know what I mean? So 10-foot rods are ideal for that end of the lake. And I thought, yeah, I'd like 10-footers for this end. And then matey is like, I've just bought some 10-foot rods. I've had a couple of them already. And I thought, mate, it's the worst thing you could have ever done. Right? I was prepared from that day onwards to be done with that island. Yeah, job done. I've been busted out of here. But when he said I've had 2 already on new rods he's just recently bought, I knew exactly where them 2 carp have been caught from. Off the island, yeah. And he's been fishing it for years. Right? He's been doing it, but this year he hadn't fished it once, and he was out on Goose Point, up the other end and stuff, never in Bailey's Point. And that's when I took my opportunity, because no one was fishing it, and he only started fishing it when he knew about the classic carp and the saddleback, when someone tried to ruin my little mission around the pit, one of my mates. Yeah, so I thought, fuck this, bollocks to you. Right? Went home that week, I thought, I'm going back Thursday and I'm going to finish what I started. This is war. Yeah, I've got 10 kilos of cell out the freezer. I've got 6 tubs of mainlines tiger nuts, which they're 3 litre tubs each. Got them all in the van for the Thursday, drove down to Burfield, got in the car park, and I see Si Fisher, Sam Toro, new member, Manchester boy, lovely lad. Well, I've got respect for both of them boys. And I was fiddling about in the car park with my bracelet, and I've got this waft bracelet, create your own path. Yeah, although I didn't create my own path, it was everyone's path. Yeah, remember that. And it snapped, right? And I've done really well over the winter. I've caught so many big fish this year with this bracelet. I believed it was that bracelet that was doing it all. And I'm proud it snapped. I was like, no, like my lucky charm. No, like it's over. Yeah. So bear that in mind. And then obviously my other lucky charm, a left-hand rod. Yeah, Bailey chops, BC. I snapped the dog lead, you know what I mean? You heard that story. And I had 2 lucky charms, but it was the left-hand rod and that bracelet. So I come back that weekend, and I told them 2 in the car park, right, I went, I ain't having it. Like, he didn't fish there all year. He's found out what I've caught, now he's there. I've come back, this is war. I'm going to finish what I started. I'm going to teach him a fucking lesson. And that was my words. Excuse my French, I did say they were swearing, but that's the only way I can express this, by swearing a little bit. So if you are still watching kids without your parents' permission, I do apologise. But this is Burfield, the reality. So yeah, I've gone out there. Sam Toro's in the 30th swim, having a few beers now, getting right on a Stella, and we're talking, and I said to him my plan, and I said I'm having it. I'm having the Burfield Common. It's mine. Like, it's got my name on it. And there were so many times over the year, like even Tom Stokes wrote an Instagram post, Burfield Common in the water shot. I went, that's got my name on it. And I had so many people doubting me, and I just knew deep down there I was going to catch it. Didn't know where, didn't know when, but I knew it had my name on it. And when you're that confident, you become deadly. And Sam Toro, mate, like, he's the only person who can really feel that night before, because I told him everything, man, and he was like, wow, like, well done, like, fucking fair play. You got it sus, basically. He knew he knew I had Burfield in my palm of my hand, mate, and I did. I had that Burfield common sussed. I knew I was on for it, and he's the only one that can really feel that. I can't even explain it. He'd have to, you know what I mean? Lewis Reed's rocked up, and I'm sitting in my decoy swim. I know he's been fishing bait at this point. I said to him, look, I ain't fishing on this swim. If you want to set up here, you can fish. I'm going out on the island. I've got business to sort out. Yeah. And he went, nah, you're right. I'm going to go around the blocks. So I told him, I went, look, I'm out on the island. Obviously, you're in the blocks. He's got to know I'm out there. And he went, yeah, I know what you've been doing. So now he's in the blocks looking straight at the island where I'm fishing. Sam's in the 30s. I'm surrounded by people who I know and trust. I'm safe. Yeah. So I've gone out there on the island. Woke up the following morning. Probably about 3 in the morning, woke up spinning. I didn't think I'd had that many Stella, but I woke up, I rolled over and I leant over the bed. Obviously I've got no body up and now, I'm under the stars, and leant over the bed and just went bleh, and it was just Stella. I thought, fuck me, I've drunk a lot last night. And it was, at the time, leading up to that, the weather was really, really dull and grey and stuff, and we didn't really have much hot weather. But this particular morning, blue skies. My bird texts me, Becky, on WhatsApp. She texts me saying, I had a dream last night, you caught the Burfield common. But I thought, that's a good one, isn't it? Didn't think nothing of it. I had a liner on my right hand rod, which was in the deep silt. And I'd caught a couple of carp off it previously and a tench, and I thought, reeled it, I thought, I'd leave that. You know, hanging and that. I'm laying there, and then Ross Kinlin, like Roscoe, he put on the WhatsApp group, Burfield group, picture of the sky, no clouds. And he put Burfield common type of morning, and I looked at it and I was like, man, you're right, you know what I mean? Burfield common loves a hot weather bite, hotter the better, and it was the hottest day of the year so far, and it was 31 degrees, 31st of July, and I laid there, I looked at my rod and I thought, what am I doing? Like, I need to put that back out. So got my waders on, waded back out, put it out about 7:30, yeah, put it back in the buzzer, laying there. And obviously I'd blanked the last 2 weeks and I thought it was done. I'm sitting there, didn't see no shows, nothing. And then the left hand rod, the spot, yeah, the Burfield common spot. The only way to describe this is if you go and watch Dave Lane's video on YouTube, Burfield common bite, when he's out in the boat. That was that, yeah, just tight clutch, strip line, and with braid it's over exaggerated. So it's rod tip's bare, I picked it up and it's just gone and stripped line all the way down to the far end of the channel, out into Speedboat Points water, yeah, and rolled, like surfaced, and it's on the surface now, and I'm like, fuck me, this is something I've never felt before. This is next level beast mode, yeah. And the common is well known to ruck, so I've got it all the way back in, yeah, and it really helped me out. This deep channel in the middle is about 12 foot, and I've played it on the surface, smashing about. And by this time, Lewis Reed, he heard the liner, then he heard the bite a bit later on, and he's watching me, he's seen everything, but I didn't know at the time. I'm out in the water and he can see everything. Anyway, I've got it all the way back, and it's come over my net, yeah, but facing away from the net. So I've got the rod up here, I can see the Burfield common. I didn't know at the time, but it was over £60, and I thought, it's the Burfield common, it's fucking big. It's massive, I can see every scale, its mouth, its big white lips, its tail, the whole lot, and it's over my net, but it's snaking away from my net, right, going over, and it's just gone over the cord and charged off for about 40 yards to this dead snag. And I'm like, if I lost it now, what's going in my head, if I lose it now, I'm done. I'm leaving Burfield today, never coming back. If I land it today, I'm done. I'm leaving Burfield today, never coming back. Either way, my time on Burfield was done. At that moment, it went over the net and out again. So I'm playing it back in, really heavy. Obviously, I know what it is, and I'm shitting bricks, right? So I'm playing it in again, and it's come back over the net, snaked over it, and done the same thing, powered off. And no lie, 3 times it done that. I had it over the net 3 times and watched it power off, and I just so wish I had a GoPro on my head because I had it there. But at the time, all of this stuff couldn't be on YouTube, hence the reason why I was filming in the 30s, hence the reason why I filmed a bit going around Alsatian Bay and stuff when I was going to move after I'd been busted, because I had a video to put out and I couldn't give the game away, but all along, right, I could have filmed it because I didn't know what was about to go down. I was about to finish it. But anyway, the third time it went, I thought, and I was thinking, oh, just please get in the net. It's come around for the fourth time, the snake's down to the right, it's gone in them, got it out, and it's come over the net, and I've just scooped it up, yeah? I was like, fuck. It's the Burfield common, you know what I mean? Oh my days. I've turned round, Lewis Reed's shouted over, what you got? And I said, I just put my hand out, I went, it's over, I've got it. And he went, I thought it was. Only he can tell you, I reckon 25 minutes of beast mode brutality, and only he can tell that story because my mind was blown, right? All of it. Being hanging didn't help, and I can't express how it was, but he saw it all unfold. He saw the whole fight, he heard the bite, he saw the whole fight. And mate, I'm going to get him on this to have a little word, but I got it in the net, I looked at it, I text my bird back, pictures like of the common in the net, video and that, I went, I've got the Burfield common, it's over. Right? She phoned me up and that, and I'm talking to her, and all along I thought, oh my god, like this could have so easily been that other geezer that was sheeping me up. Yeah, he hadn't done no hard work, he had caught a couple, but he hadn't caught the stamp of fish I'd caught, and he hadn't put the effort in, and probably didn't have two setups on Burfield barring them about. He didn't do it how I'd done it effectively, and I thought that could have so been him. For what? For fuck all, right? So another reason, right, another thing, I looked at the lake and I was like, I looked at the common and I just started crying. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, got a fully grown man, burst out in tears because it's over. Burfield was my dream. Burfield was the ultimate, the finale, everything I've ever done in my life, all the waters, all the carp angle of the year stuff and all that previously, it was all the build up to Burfield and the ultimate challenge and the common, and I've just done it, and I knew I weren't coming back to Burfield, and I love the place that much that that's what hurt the most. All in all, I was there for a year and a half, but with lockdown and stuff, my actual fishing time on Burfield was 10 months, which is quite, well, very short, probably one of the quickest ones. And I actually caught that fish casting there, and to my knowledge, I've been told, I don't know, it might be wrong, but it's the first time the Burfield common has been caught since Terry Earn 11 years ago. I think there might be one other angler who had it after Terry Earn, who I won't name because he's secret, you know that is, if you know Burfield, and he may have cast or waded out or whatever, but it's since then even, it's someone else will confirm that, no doubt, but since then it's been the first capture by casting, but by no means discrediting anyone who's had it before. I would have dropped a rig in murders long, yeah, with a round boat, a little blow up dinghy. That counts just as much as casting. No matter how you catch that carp, that is the one, like you can't discredit that carp capture, no matter what you do, no matter how you put a rig out there. It's the Burfield common, right? It's the ultimate, and I've just done it, yeah. Burfield, it's over, but things were all good and plain sailing. When I was catching the classic carp, the saddleback and a 7 before, it was all good angling, and now the Burfield common's changed all of that. My so-called friends who said, yeah, good angling, fishing off speedboat point and stuff, doing their thing, going as far down that channel as they possibly could, and now saying, oh well, I thought it was their home, and now he's just turned against it. And there's a lot of members on there that I thought were my mates, and they've just proper changed their tune, and it's all for that one carp. And all I can say it boils down to is the embarrassment. As harsh as it sounds and as big-headed as I sound, but I was there for 10 months. Them boys have been there for 5-6 years, some of them, and they ain't caught it. And it's like, they could have done that. They all had that opportunity to do what I've done. But at the end of the day, I had that karma, right? That I'm going there with zero fuck mentality, and I'm going to shit on everyone. pull everyone's pants down and get this job done out of spite, and that's what I've done, and that's what paid off for me. And they could have done that, and they never, and they've done that. What they've done now is just like bitched behind my back and stuff, and yeah, I think it's out of embarrassment to hide their reason why they haven't caught it. We're going to go and look at the Burfield Common now, and we're going to go back to the good times before I carry on with the nitty gritty. So check this out. Welcome to Burfield. Behind the scenes. Sometimes to do well you've got to do stuff out the box. Gonna catch a common. This is the sort of stuff that's got to be done. Island hopping and shit. Make sure no one spots you in that. Pretty on show. That's where all the geese hang about, like literally, geese galore. It's the one, mate. 4 fish. Nothing else has been out 5 weeks. 4 in 2 nights. Plus a classic. There's about to be some drama. 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 Oh my lord, drama. There's about to be some drama. There's about to be some drama. Scary side. That's a fucking scary side. Scary side. That's a fucking scary side. You in your house and feds outside. That's a fucking scary side. Scary side. That's a fucking scary side. You in your riding bricks inside. That's a fucking scary side. Scary side. That's a fucking scary side. I feel your every fence behind. That's a fucking scary side.
Do anything, Greg?
Scary side. That's a fucking scary side. Black body, black glove machines.
He's got Wade as Lewis giving hand for that.
Scary side. That's a fucking scary side.
That was the exact big old carp you got there, Greg.
Yeah, all ready. You're alright there, Chris.
Look at that bar bend. She's big. She's very big.
Which way are you shooting?
I'll weigh it first.
Fucking hell. Go on, man. Look at that. Look at that carp.
Mental.
That is...
Right, so we need to get out of sting.
Yeah. Is this, we're getting rid of this one, yeah? Just about fits.
Just. I've got common rope up. Right.
Which way's the scales going?
Whose scales are these?
Mine,
Yours.
0.
Go on, you read it.
You've got to...
You want me to lift it and you read it?
Yeah, go on. Someone else read it.
28. 28.
£60.
Right, hang on, hold that tea. Let's do this properly because this is close.
Lewis, that's bending a bit and then you go right up.
Probably lost a fucking couple of pounds.
It's right on the cusp, isn't it?
Stop her wobbling. Looks like 60 bang on.
I'd say 60.
Yeah.
60 bang on.
Yeah?
Lost a couple of pounds in the
If anything, it might be a couple of ounces over.
Yeah.
£60 total.
I'll give you £60.
Call it £60.
Just like organise everything. Just shooting this way.
Which way are we shooting, Roo?
UK 60 club. Is that £60 bang on or what?
On the nose.
Even worse. Go on.
You don't unhook him, Matt. Someone hold it up.
Get him up.
Hold it on next weekend, boy.
Burfield Common. £60 bang on.
No, mate, that'll get a lot bigger that. It's rounder when I call it, isn't it?
Perfect hit now.
Go on, mate. If you go a bit higher, that's it.
Am I in the way?
Stay at that. Freeze as long as you can. Smart.
Perfect.
My hand choice.
Sorry, mate.
Now the music is the plug, and I'ma sell this shit to the whole fucking world. Yeah, I've been up all that crying.
Are you his mentor, Roo? Are you his mentor?
Focus it, roll over.
All about. Kiss him. That's as good as it gets, Greg. Respect for him. And he's the gym this morning.
What you got, Greg? I'll tell you what, this fish took a bit of my life up. Our old friend.
Hold on, I've got to be about a mile away with this sled. I can't see it, but just give us a smile.
Look at that old going crusty along its back there. Look at that.
Oh, that was awful.
He's round there, mate.
You want to do all these shots?
I'll go
I'll come straight in, I have.
Good lad.
Go on, I'll grab it. Assuming that
Go on,
it's going to
Chewy.
be well behaved and not.
Just get straight off.
Yep.
Best unhooking mat in the world now. It's very shiny.
So
up a bit.
bright.
Oh, look at it.
Don't lose it now, brother.
That's amazing.
Proper.
Tail round to me a tiny bit. There.
What a shot. Oh, mate.
Go on, hold it up again.
Go on, that was a beautiful shot.
Hold on. Right, get yourself back, son. You're walking towards me. I've got a fucking 85mm lens. I've got my half a fishing shot.
Portrait, Louis Bobes. Just a quick one, yeah, portrait. Just that.
Let me get in with this in a minute, boys.
It's all right in the water, isn't it? It's in the best place for it. Look at that.
He's got his flag over his back.
Off it goes.
fucking amazing carp, innit?
Well, I'm waiting for you to pick it up. That'd be quite nice.
It's got a little mark on its tail I could treat before you put it back.
That's awesome. Epic. That is fucking mega. Creature.
Can you just push the tail round a bit? That's it. That's the one.
What a creature.
What a carp, eh? £60. It's the Burfield Common. It's the best carp in the land. I've had it. So you go. I'm coming on a massive big pit, not Burfield, but it's daunting. And I thought I'd deserve one, but I didn't. But yeah, I've had the Burfield Common, and wow. That night, old Sam Toro, mate, he got his guitar out. I had a few good mates there. Neil Mundy rocked up, Dan Rigby, my mate Errol. We partied hard, man. Like, we had a good party, and Sam on the guitar, life and soul of the party. He made my Burfield Common celebration party the one. But obviously, after that, the following week, I had the Burfield Weekender on the Blue Pool and the Gold 8, the social. And without doing that and raising that money to do that for an odd offence, I would never have caught the Burfield Common, because I caught that out of the carp gods paying me back. I owe Burfield a massive favour, and I said I'd never go back. I don't want to go back. All this grief I've had since and all the bitching, I just want to be done with it. But there's a lot of fence to go up, and if Phil still wants me, I'll do it. But after this video, I'm sure there'll be different views maybe, because I've told the truth. Like, what makes my capture stand out is the meaning behind what I've done, and that's not being invited to lockdown. Yeah, my last video, Burfield Torture. Look at my last video intro. Yeah, look at this carefully, and every member on Burfield don't understand. It's been on YouTube for the last month or two, last 2 months even. Yeah, and it's all there to see. Now watch this. Listen to the words carefully. Yeah, very carefully. Watch the video images to go with the words. Yeah. And then you'll realise, right, that I wasn't fucking about, and it was war. Play with fire, get burnt.
You see, there's us, then it's them.
Yeah. Some of us are sick, some of us are ill. Some of us don't care and never will. Some of us are deep, some of us creep. Some of them are fake but claim they're real. Some of us walk, most of them talk. If I was you would keep it concealed. Some of them act, most of them crack. Should've never said you had stainless steel. Some of them whisper, some of us don't. Some of us listen, some of them won't. Some of us have been here since this shit started. Some are acting like they don't know. Some of them are twisted, some are like bitter. Some are clean hearted, some of them are sinners. Some don't know what it is to be realer. Say if you're a killer, it don't figure.
You can play it cool, boy, play it cool. But don't be walking around as if you're someone higher. If you can break the rules, boy, break the rules. But mother should've told you, don't you play with fire. Some men act fake for the love, then have to become what they wanted to become, to fit in, son. Until it all falls flat like once then. Friends, you ain't ringing one, you ain't got none, loyalty's not in your concepts. You ain't slinging guns, but you're talking like John Wayne's in a complex. You better know yourself, real men know how to hold their self. Steady sleep in peace at night, not sitting up trying to console theirself. Be real, stop playing parts. You might not mean you saying bars, but I'm Anubis here and I'm weighing hearts. And you ain't got no hope in hell. If you can play it cool, boy, play it cool. But don't be walking around as if you're someone higher.
And there you go, it was all there to be seen, right? Genius, I know. Thanks, pat on the back. But the swim, I spoke to Phil and that, he went, oh, we're going to open the swim now, right, it's going to be a proper swim, we're going to open it, we're going to call it Ellis Island, he's going to put it on the map next year as Ellis Island. And I was like, sweet, yeah, nice one. Like, although I've done it all on the dodge, it wasn't even that bad. Yeah, it wasn't their home, it wasn't out of bounds like some people have been saying on Facebook. I've not told my story, this is the first time I've told my story, and I've been seeing all the comments on Facebook saying it was out of bounds and stuff. And it wasn't. It was never out of bounds. It's been fished for years. Even the old school, when Nigel Sharp was on there, the bailiffs used to go out there and fish it. It was never their home, their safety, their haven, sanctuary where they feel safe. Some prick even put it was hooker duck, and that's one of Gav Jones's mates, one of my mates, who was all for me doing this shit until I caught the common. So even if it was their home unwritten, yeah, it only took one of them boys to tell me that, and I would not have gone to the extremes to do what I've done if it is an unwritten out of bounds rule, yeah, because it wasn't. I wouldn't go to a official out of bounds area where it is their safety and they're easy to catch. I wouldn't have done that because that would discredit the capture. This was proper carp angling. I'd heard a fish show off the end of Hodders, down a channel you can't get unless your bollocks are big, right? And my bollocks were the biggest bollocks on Burfield this year, and that's the bottom line of it. Them boys didn't have the minerals, didn't have the bottle to do what I've done. Without the risk, there's no reward, right? So now the swim's open. It's been 4 weeks now, but I went back to film this piece last week, and I went down. I was going to fish a lake nearby, but film the days on Burfield and do this talking what I'm doing now. But I've gone back to Burfield, and Bailiff's Point was free, which meant the island was free. And I thought, I'll tell you what, I'll go out there, I'll do one more weekend on there, and I'll film all this talking whilst doing it, yeah, where it happened. So I've gone out there, I've bucketed me swim, Bailiff's Point, with my Tempest brolly. Right, I use a Tempest because it's quick and easy to get up, and it's an old battered thing, yeah, not worth anything anymore. But I've put it on in the swim, laid it there on the ground like I always do, didn't set it up, right, just in the bag. Gone back to my van to get my kit, come back again, and the brolly's gone, it's been nicked. Bearing in mind, that was my decoy swim. I'd had my Tempest brolly set up there, I'd had my Avid bed chair, right, I've had my barra, a rod on a buzzer, all day, all night, for 3 nights at times, yeah, when I was fishing it, and no one knew I was catching, or they'd found out about the classic and the saddleback. Nothing went missing, right? I've come back to film 3 weeks later, and my bivvy, my brolly gets nicked, yeah? The Burfield Common, like I said, have changed everything. I'm not saying it's necessarily a member, but it's a bit strange, ain't it? So, anyway, I went and borrowed a brolly off of Tom Stokes. He was fishing lake nearby, so I've got his little brolly, and I've gone out on the island to do my filming and stuff. The first day I set up, done everything, and I thought, oh, I'll tell you what, I'll film in the morning, I can't be fucked now, like, there's bad feelings, I don't feel welcome anymore on Burfield, my brolly's been nicked, I just felt like I wasn't welcome there, so I thought, and the buzz on the island, now you was allowed to do it, there hasn't been a single night, I don't think, where that island's been free since I caught the common. So the last 3 weeks, it's been fished hard, right? And it's been causing arguments. There's been bait wars going on over there, I know that for a fact. Tiger nuts getting filled in to fuck someone else up, which I would have done, yeah? That's angling. I started saying I'd finish it, so I'll ruin it for the next man until I get back. So that was going on, yeah? Because the hickey fish, that's no doubt going to be down there somewhere and might get caught, and you're talking a £60 carp maybe. So there's a lot of stake there with that one as well. But I went to bed early that night, probably about 9 in the evening, and I woke up the following morning to a text on the Burfield group, and it said, like, from the head bailiff, he's a good mate of mine, and he's had no choice, he's just been getting loads of shit from this for the last 3 weeks, same as what I have, and he's now officially, right, from the 22nd of August, right, 2020, that island, Ellis Island, what it's going to be called, yeah, history in the making there, boys and girls, but it's now going to be shut, officially out of bounds, for their safety, for their sanctuary, for their haven. All that shit on Facebook that wasn't true at the time, 3 weeks later after I caught the common, has now become true, right? And the only thing that really backs me up on this one is I've got the evidence that that island swim was never ever out of bounds for the whole history of Burfield until last weekend, right? 22nd of August. So everyone that said shit on Facebook and that, before I had my say, there's your proof. I've got it there, right, in a WhatsApp message. 22nd of August, it became out of bounds. I had the common on the 31st of July. Job done, yeah? Good angling. I found the carp, nobody else did. I found them, went out there, risked it, yeah? Got the job done, and then the bitches started coming out. Right, but all along, it was all good angling, well done, buzzing for you. Now it's their home, now it's their, you done wrong, you know what I mean? So it's all out of jealousy, like I said, it's embarrassment more than anything, I think. But yeah, I'm buzzing, and I'm done, mate. I'm out of Burfield, and I'm sort of gutted. I was well gutted. We had a really good weekend. That weekend, I went home on the Saturday. I caught it on a Friday morning, went home on a Saturday, got home, and my girlfriend's got me this card, right? Mega card, picture of me kissing the common. Yeah, more tears, blood, sweat and tears on Burfield. That's what it was. Right? I had my blood, I had my sweat, then I had my tears of happiness at the end. Then they turned to tears of anger, right? And it ain't stopped since. It's been 4 weeks now, and I've had a lot of grief trying to raise money for this sort of offence, and I'm going to still raise money for this sort of offence if Phil wants me. I ain't going to run away, because I owe Burfield now. I caught that carp, the Burfield common, because I'm doing this, and I'm not going to walk away and leave it. But I could so easily when I see the word Burfield or hear the word Burfield, I just think, fuck off. Right? And it's all to do with a few jealous members that have called shit on Facebook, called shit for me raising money for an art offence. I'm trying to do something good. What have I actually done bad, yeah, out of this? I've caught the Burfield common, I'm trying to protect the common and all its mates, yeah? What have I done to deserve this shit? Nothing. All I've done is good. It's all green-eyed monsters, jealousy, and I didn't want to say all this lockdown stuff, but since Matt closed the island and made it out of bands, I've got no choice. That's the truth. And if you can't see that as good angling, then you're in the wrong game, because all the top boys that I know, the real big fish anglers, they know it's good angling. And like I said at the start, this video is going to be a lot different to Terry Earns. Terry Earns was good, yeah? That was back in the day. This is Burfield 2020. Burfield's changed. Who got the last laugh there? Cheers. Bell lad. Somebody pass me that cigar. Oh, fucking hell.
Let's go. Yeah. It's more than music, homie. The streets won't do it for me. How many times I gotta roll out with this Luger on me? Police all around me, I'm still paro with this food upon me. I don't want your ratings, I'm just stating what the truth is, homie. Lost my best friend to these streets, shit was hard for me. Feeling like everything around me fell apart on me. Still I'm trying to find a way, see I don't know where to start, homie. Coming up out that dark, homie, you can see them scars on me. Pushing all my chips and I swear that I go all out. Drama with these bitches, making couple niggas fall out. Wonder where my God's at, does he hear me when I call out? Them prayers ain't getting answered, got me thinking what it's for now. They plotting on me, preying on me, they make a scheme. I've been out rapping, been out trapping, still with the team. And Charlie, this ain't feeling real, I mean it's been a dream. But still I'm out here trying to stretch this ain't far like a limousine. So fuck what you heard, I've been out trapping on the curbs, trying to make it work, still turning Ninas into birds. It's like you do what you gotta do to make it what it's worth. Without the risk there's no reward, so I'm still ready for the worst. 1,000 lyrics on my iPhone, I lost the one of my shows. My lifelines on my line phone, and pagans hope I die slow, yeah. Wherever I go, they clock me like the time zone. Shout Skepta running grime and I'm still king and here in my zone. Who said we wouldn't make it? Off the streets and off the corner, smoking marijuana, now I'm feeling like a sauna. Remember my mum would warn us about no splits whenever she caught us. One day you'll be addicted, shit, now look at me with this quarter. Ain't got time for a part-time, I'm working on the anthem. Or running around with the man that made nobody understanding. Painting in my bed at night, she way above the average, but she know just where my head's at with that pen up in that. She said you'll make it for your people, but damn these streets evil. These roads are so deceitful, have me moving like I lost it. That burner in my pocket in their ends like fuck the gossip. My finger on the trigger, it's too deep for me to drop it. Most of these niggas never done shit, this beef is just a cycle. The realest stay inside without their life, they with the lifers. Man, I never seen it coming, yeah. Looking at what my people come from, Luton, this ain't fucking London. I've been on my grind so long, I swear my head hurts. Putting in that legwork every day until that ped work. All the man them raving, I'm like, damn, I want that bread first. Building my connections like that signal on my network. Oh, I network for the music, they ask me what I'm doing. Smoking too much weed and putting peas into this nuisance, man. There ain't no shortcuts, I do this shit properly. fucking up these shows so you can holler if you want me. See, I started from the bottom with a team and with my brother. On the road all through the winter, had no sense with just some youngers. Searching for that money, moving up without a compass. They say, save up them pennies if you're trying to reach them hundreds. So we did just what they told us. We're not lacking for the paper, just break lights for them haters. Serving comments like they waiters. Attempts to slow me down and them attempts to getting better. I just wanna be rich, I want it sooner rather than later. Getting older, had to switch lanes. Ain't slowing from them disc brakes. Go wherever it takes just to make it out of the shit place. And I don't even rap no more, I'm making music. I'm pulling up with some shooters, got promoters moving stupid. All the people around me ruthless. Where do you think I got this hype from? A nice guy, still a wise guy whenever I'm on them. Police and sirens got me running for my life done. I'm spending all this time on just trying to make that right song. My views, I'm getting over that. You hear my views, I'm getting older. Someone should really try and hold me back. I'm heading out of town just for the week, but I'll be back soon. Staring in my face, they're probably thinking he's that rap goon. I'm trapping, cause I don't know what else to do. And it gets harder when nobody's trying to help you. Fed up with the system and that shit we born up into. I know you'll understand if you've been through what I've been through.
Oh, no.
Out the way.
You're up there, boy!
Having fun.
Get in
Hero,
there.
hero. Oh, brilliant one.
There you go, Greg. Put my hand in the camera.
Well done, mate.
Nice one. Time for a beer and a barbie, innit?
Innit, bruv?
Well done, mate. Fucking mega, mate. Come on. Need a wash.
Yes, mate, well done.
Fuck yeah. Burfield completed it, mate. Hold tight my lockdown, massive. Warren, you know.